Hello and welcome to our webinar on whole roof waterproofing. This includes, or should we say involves, insulation plus polyurethane waterproofing system. And this system provides you a service life of 35 years. So whole roof waterproof. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to our company. Who are we? What do we do? So Costar Building Product System was founded decades ago with products sold in more than 40 countries. Our headquarters is in the United States. We've been in Nigeria through our partner and distributor, Advanced Concrete Technologies. We're currently in Nigeria now with our head office in Lagos State and a branch in Abuja. So we basically offer services like waterproofing solutions, which comprises of our waterproofing membranes and our waterproofing admixtures, concrete admixtures, tiling solutions, flooring solutions, structural grouting solutions, surface treatments, concrete repair products, and other construction chemicals. So we'll go straight up to what cool roof waterproofing is. Cool roof waterproofing basically involves the thermal insulation and your polyurethane waterproofing system, which makes it watertight and also maintains the energy in your building. So thermal insulation is the reduction of heat transfer between objects in thermal contact or in range of radiative influence. Now, what is thermal insulation used for? Thermal insulation is used by the building industry to reduce the heat loss or gain through the house envelope. Thermal insulation creates thermal comfort inside the houses by keeping the temperature in suitable condition. Now, what's the process of cool roof waterproofing? So we have two options. We have the option for non-trafficable areas and the option for trafficable areas. Please, this is not non-trafficable. The second is for trafficable areas. So for non-trafficable areas, it just involves or includes priming the surface, applying your first layer of waterproofing membrane, which is a polyurethane Consul 250 system. Then the polyurethane spray foam, either the Costar B12 or the Costar B24, and then your second layer of polyurethane waterproofing membrane on the surface. So that's a system for your non-trafficable areas. But for trafficable areas, it involves a primer, the Consul 250, that's a polyurethane waterproofing membrane, the polyurethane spray foam, and then the cementitious screed on the surface. Then you apply your second layer of polyurethane waterproofing membrane, Consul 250. So let's talk about priming the surface. Why is priming important? Priming is always very important for preparing the surface to receive whatever membrane or even flooring that you need to apply on it. So now different membranes or flooring systems come with different specifications for primer. So it could be a polyurethane primer, it could be an epoxy primer, it could be water actually. So but for the polyurethane waterproofing system, Consul 250, you need to prime the surface. Prime a completely dry surface with the polyurethane primer, which is our Costar Primer 20, or we also have the Costar PU Primer. So this helps to prepare the surface to receive the membrane and also improves bindability. Application of Costar Primer. The first thing you need to do is surface preparation. Surface has to be sound, no dirt, no dust, so it should be properly swept and dusted. If there was grease, properly washed off and allowed to dry properly. If there was latent on the surface or paint, it should be scraped off and properly prepared to receive the primer. So basically there should be no foreign particle on the surface. Now if you have a loosely held surface where the substrate is not sound, you might have to take that surface off and do a new screed. After doing this, you need to apply the first coat of your primer, and if you have a very porous surface, you might have to apply another coat of the primer onto the surface. So now after priming, the next thing you need to do is wait for 6 to 8 hours. Then you start your application of your Consul 250. So now what's Consul 250? Costar 250 is a revolutionary single-component, permanently elastic polyurethane waterproofing membrane, which after polymerization forms an elastomeric polyurethane membrane, resisting UV rays and capable of handling building movement. This gives you a service life of up to 25 years. This replaces our traditional felting system on roofs, replaces any other traditional felting system, because as we all know, its polyurethane waterproofing system is actually the best out there. It gives you a very long service life, and okay, then we'll definitely get to the advantages. So what's the application? You need to stir the contents of your polyurethane waterproofing membrane, Costar 250. Then you pour Costar 250 onto the primed surface and you lay it out with either a roller or a brush until you cover the entire surface. You can actually reinforce your joints with geotextile fiber and the entire surface if you choose to. And after doing this, you apply the second layer of your Costar 250 not later than 48 hours. So where can we use our Costar 250? We're looking at green roofs, flower beds, planter boxes, retaining walls, bathrooms, and terraces. It's very suitable for areas that are exposed to the harsh weather condition because it actually has reflective properties. It's UV resistant and UV stable. Now, what are the features and benefits of our Costar 250? It has excellent resistance to water and microorganisms, resistance to temperature variation. Waterproofed surface provides excellent weather resistance and UV resistance. Provides sun reflectivity, contributing to thermal insulation. So you can see that it does not need the use of open flame during application, and it provides a water vapor permeability so surface can breathe. Polyurethane spray insulation. Now, as we all know it, or as some of us know it, polyurethane insulation has been common in almost the entire world for many years. It's not surprising because it's considered to be the most effective thermal insulation technology so far. So polyurethane foam is a very effective thermal insulation, so it is essential to improve the energy efficiency of buildings. Spray insulation foam is a cost-effective and versatile way to insulate all kinds of areas, including awkward and hard-to-reach areas like joints, corners where you have protruding elements on your roof slab or in those surfaces. You'd be able to reach all those corners and properly insulate that particular surface effectively. Now, the polyurethane system is produced directly on substrates to be insulated using a spray process. The material forms a continuous, even layer with no joints or gaps, eliminating any thermal bridges. Now, spray insulation is the ideal solution for a wide variety of surfaces and shapes because the material adapts to any material without gaps. Now, the field of application covers virtually all areas of flat and pitched roofs, ceilings, walls, and floors. You have it. So now the two products we have for the thermal insulation is our Costar Thermal B12 and our Costar Thermal B24. So the Costar Thermal B12 is a low density based polyurethane foam recommended for roofing and other exterior insulation because it is applied in a continuous manner in addition to the thermal resistance properties. So the Costar Thermal B12 is a premium spray polyurethane foam building insulation system. The product is generated on site by combining an isocyanate and a polymeric resin through a dual component proportional. It's fast, easy, and adaptable. It can achieve an R value of 20 at 3 inches. So what are the advantages of the Costar Thermal B12? It has good thermal resistance, provides load support to structures, helps to reduce energy consumption, provides excellent protection against heat and water infiltration, increases building resistance to wind uplift. Thermal insulation. Now, another product we have is the Costar Thermal B24. It's a premium two-component closed-cell polyurethane spray foam for building insulation system. Can be used on exterior roof insulation and walls and floor insulation. It's two components, it's high density based, it's for roofing and other exterior insulation like I rightly mentioned initially. It's applied in a continuous manner, leaving no gap, no bridge, no space for heat loss. Costar B24 is a premium product, like I mentioned earlier. It's also generated on site by combining an isocyanate and a polymeric resin through a dual component proportional. Now, application of polyurethane spray foam. Now, in order to correctly apply Costar B12 for B24, it's essential to have a minimum condition, or should we say it's essential to have minimum conditions as well as knowledge that this is the only way to achieve a professional result, and the maximum performance of the installation. So basically, the thermal installation should only be done by professionals, trained professionals. Now, what are the conditions that you need to have? The temperature should be at least 5 degrees Celsius and at most 40 degrees Celsius. Should be applied on a completely dry surface, and it shouldn't be applied during a windy weather. Now, what's the application process? The two active components of polyurethane foam is a polyol and isocyanate, and they are drawn by pumps to hose. They are drawn by pumps to hoses, whereas high pressure mixing takes place in a spray gun. Then the foam is thrown directly by the gun onto the insulated surface. A few seconds after application, foam increases its volume several times, forming a homogeneous, durable insulation layer with excellent thermal and waterproofing properties. So what are the advantages of the polyurethane spray foam? We said it's high energy efficient due to the exact coverage of all elements requiring insulation. It has the best insulation parameters and guarantees tightness, homogeneous layer without joints and technological connections, durability of the coating, adhesion to various substructures. It is non-slipping or felting. It does not absorb moisture. It is odorless, resistant to mold, fungi and bacteria, strengthens and dampens the construction structure. So that's all we need to know about cool roof waterproofing system. But there was something I missed out while I was talking, and that's the fact that we have two types of polyurethane spray foam system. We have the open cell and we have the closed cell foam. So for the open cell foam, it has a large number of open cells for it to breathe. Now, these open cells allow it to breathe and helps to maintain a pleasant environment, and it's used internally. But the closed cell system can be used externally. It is highly durable. The density is 30 to 60 kilogram per cubic meter, and it provides an excellent and the most effective polyurethane spray system. And that's all on cool roof waterproofing system. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you on our next training and webinar, which we will definitely communicate across to you, so we can see you there and have a wonderful session learning about today's solution or today's construction chemicals to make tomorrow's solution. Thank you.